Information and data processing plays an important role in the effective operation of different departments within an organization. Computer-based systems have largely contributed to the development of systems to streamline the specific practices associated with data processing. Such systems are referred to as information systems, which play important roles within an organization, aiming to increase the effectiveness of managerial decision-making. However, the establishment of such a system may also bring about several challenges limiting its implementation. These challenges can bring about potential risks substantially affecting an organization's effective performance. The risks associated with the business and information system establishes a driving force towards risk management. Accordingly, risk management practices are widely developed in order to mitigate the associated risk effects and increase the efficient performance of information systems within an organization. We will try to provide a specific framework to implement risk management with information systems in this video. There have been various attempts to provide a generally accepted and unified definition of risk, but none have been widely agreed upon. All proposed definitions agree on focusing on the possible adverse or catastrophic consequences of a particular activity with respect to a set of specific human values. So we simply define the risk as the cumulative effect of the probability of uncertain occurrences that may positively or negatively affect project objectives. Definitions of information systems risk similarly cover a wide area, but have main components in common. We can define information system risk as to the cumulative effect of the uncertainty of objectives and their impacts, resulting from the poor quality of information, on the intelligent information system involved in achieving those objectives. The information system's associated risks can be revealed in one or several fields, which are amplified with specific risk factors. These can be classified into 10 groups, including companies that employ effective risk management must handle a wide range of risks in a coordinated manner, instead of conventional risk management. Risk is inherently characterized by three specific principles of first, being partially unknown, second being variable over a time period, and third being altered by human actions. We are discussing one of the most important structures attributed to risk management, as shown in picture. Several challenges according to information systems can be listed as follows. The first step in this process is risk management planning, in which the main goals and criteria of the risk management actions are specified. A series of strict plans are responsible for guiding the projects, through which the projects are provided with rationale processes to aid in their execution. The risk management plan should also be part of a guiding plan, which would provide the latest result or status of the risk management planning process. Different organizations pursue different ways of approaching the content of risk management plans. In this scheme, risk management planning is the struggle to bring the risk policies, procedures of the organization, and practices into a consistent whole by which the nature of project risk is addressed. Risk identification is an essential step in every risk management process. This refers to an organized approach to find real risks and identify explicit situations and events that may impact specified aims and activities associated with the project. Risk assessment and risk management can only be performed after providing a clear vision of the risks, hazards, and opportunities. To assess risks within an organization, it is critical to collect all potential risk sources. Such information includes those associated with In addition, humans with potentially harmful motivations are also able to act as a risk source, especially to be engaged in fraud. Now, we already have well-organized documentation regarding the risks of the project are provided, but requires further analysis to organize, classify, and determine the final impact of the identified risks on the organization. The analysis of the information obtained from risk identification can be accomplished in qualitative or quantitative methods. And the qualitative analysis precedes the quantitative one. Risk qualification is fundamentally composed of several main phases. The first phase is to determine the risk baseline. As mentioned, one of the main aims of qualitative analysis is to stratify and organize the risks in projects. Baselining the risk would place any risk between absolute uncertainty, which is the first and the best effort to stratify risk with respect to its characteristic probabilities and impacts. The next phase in risk qualification is rating the risk. Risk rating schemes are needed to significantly minimize the associated discrepancies for different analysts. The degree of risk is a reflection on the occurrence probability and also the impact severity. Here, we consider 4 of the most useful qualitative risk analysis techniques: Delphi technique, Swift analysis, decision tree analysis, and bowtie analysis. The Delphi technique is a type of risk brainstorming. Delphi technique uses expert opinions to discover, analyze, and assess risks individually and anonymously. Another qualitative risk analysis is the Swift analysis, which stands for Structured What-If technique. Swift takes a systematic team-based approach in a workshop environment where the team explores how changes to an approved plan or design might affect a project through a series of what-if considerations. Decision tree analysis is another powerful technique that is most commonly used to determine the best course of action when the outcome of possible planned events or plans is uncertain. Bowtie analysis is regarded as one of the most viable techniques available to identify risk mitigation. Bowtie analysis begins by looking at a risk event and then projects it in 2 directions. All possible causes of the event are listed on the left, and all possible consequences of the event are listed on the right. It is then possible to identify and apply mitigations for each of the causes and consequences separately. The inputs to risk quantitative analysis include information from the risk qualification and statistical data from organization. Data integrity is considered a critical requirement in any information system, aiming to ensure no inappropriate modification is established either by intentional or accidental acts. Integrity violation can substantially pave the way for the further violation of data availability and confidentiality. It is critically important because the violation of a system or data availability can, in turn, bring about substantially mitigated operational effectiveness and functionality within an organization. Technically speaking, there are 5 fundamental risk measures, and each gives a remarkable method of evaluating the risk implied in the venture viable. The 5 measures incorporate alpha, beta, R-squared, standard deviation, and Sharpe ratio. Risk measures can be utilized separately or together to conduct a risk evaluation. Throughout the risk management process, developing a risk response is critically important. One of the potentially important practices that an organization can engage in through avoiding further risk occurrence is identity management and access control. Identity management and access control can strictly control accessibility to organizational resources to ensure the security of data and systems. Through these practices, the user's identities are clearly verified prior to giving them the right level of access to data and information. Identities are referred to as sets of unique attributes which differentiate a user from other users, and are majorly manifested as security numbers. After users register within the company, specific attributes assigned to them are collected and established within the database. These associated attributes are key factors in determining the power of a user and its flexibility within an organization. After managing and specifying the identities, they are fully established through authentication. After the establishment of an identity, an access control decision should be pursued. In this step, the evaluation and decision over the delivered attributes are accomplished, and the access level of the user is specified. Identity management is concerned with controlling and regulating the user attributes, while access control is concerned with evaluating the associated attributes according to the policies and further engaging in final decisions. Single sign-on is an authentication scheme enabling the user to log in once and access the organization resources just via a single identity and password. In an attempt toward providing more security, the single sign-on scheme can be further integrated with other approaches such as adaptive multi-factor authentication. In this method, additional factors are required during the authentication process, aiming to eliminate the risks associated with single identity authentication. Managing risks is tightly involved with policy analysis. Each company or business is highly threatened by unpredicted business interruptions and associated challenges. Accordingly, it is critically important to set specific rules and policies to help to be completely immune against potential crises. Digitalization also plays a crucial role in the continuity of an organization. The potential to treat and prevent risk, to be receptive to new ideas, and to adopt digitalization to improve efficiency and performance within the organization are all directly related to business continuity. Business continuity refers to the maintenance of unhindered availability and accessibility of all chief resources required for a business to act appropriately day in, day out. A process of establishing a system of prevention and recovery from threatening interruptions is simply referred to as business continuity planning. The associated business continuity plan is an outcome of the business continuity management process. There are three main steps for creating and applying a business continuity plan in an organization. The first step is to pursue risk assessment, to determine the essential business functions, and to identify the degree and the level of the exposure to threats. The second step in applying continuity management is developing and documenting a continuity plan. At this level, there are three main actions that a business can perform according to the previous risk assessments, including: after developing strategies in continuity management, it is important to provide these strategies as documents to be applicable in further steps in crisis management. The associated documented continuity plans are further required to be tested and validated. Throughout the validation process, the compatibility of backup procedures is specified, the modification spots on the plan are determined, the potential of the organization to recover after a crisis is demonstrated. And a regular basis for the validation of the plan provides the opportunity to regularly update and correct inconsistencies that have been outlined. In fact, this step is highly functional as it establishes the guarantee that all important steps throughout the plan are included.